before that goes anywhere, you'd probably need my signature,
Okay.
which you won't get.
No, that's not how the First Amendment works. There's no
So,
expectation of privacy
if you
in a
do
public
this,
setting.
I will probably have to sue you.
Oh.
There's not one thing that I think Donald Trump has done properly.
Yeah.
He's attacking democracy in every way he can,
How?
Not good.
which is not good. I believe in democracy.
Is there any category that you're saying, hey, they're doing a pretty good job, or no? Any immigration, economy,
No.
foreign policy,
No.
no new wars?
So we as Democrats
What-
will never accept.
He said today, or maybe, yes, it was today, that he has brokered 6 deals for peace. Which 6 deals is he talking about? So he lies. He constantly lies.
Why is that one? I don't know if it's 6. I thought it was 5. Maybe it is
No,
6.
he
But
said 6.
there's
But he didn't broker those deals. So brokered by other people. He takes credit for it because he pushes the power of the United States into the fray to force people to make
It's funny
choices
because
they have no other
That's
way.
actually one victory that a lot of people have looked at, being like, okay, well, they've actually been heavily involved. I don't know if they're fully responsible, but heavily involved in brokering a handful of peace deals. You think just none. He has nothing to do with any of them.
So which deals did he broker? Can you tell me the ones that-
Azerbaijan,
No,
just recent. That was the most recent one, and that was the U.S. that was 100% involved in that peace deal.
That wasn't 100% the United States. The Azerbaijanis, they had a plan. All he did was kind of push it through.
But
He
he-
didn't need Donald Trump. Donald Trump is taking all credit for all this because he wants the Nobel Peace Prize, which makes me nauseous.
We'll table foreign policy because that's a whole complicated issue, huh?
It is much bigger than my understanding.
It's probably same with me, right? But when it comes to what's happening here at home, your big things for his
ICE?
F.
What he's doing with ICE in this country? I mean, come on.
He's doing an incredible
That's
job.
not human. That's inhumane. He's talking about going after the bad guys. I wish someone could go and give us actual numbers on the bad guys that he's picked up. I've seen mothers that are waiting
Ranges,
to
yeah.
pick up their kids. Look,
Yeah.
without immigrants in this country, we have nothing. And Donald Trump would like to get rid of a lot of the immigrants in this country.
Without immigrants or illegal immigrants?
Immigrants, illegal or not.
Okay. Yeah, you
Just
might
because
have
somebody
like
got-
recent arrivals. You might have like 50 million less people.
Just because
A lot of people.
someone has come to this country illegally doesn't make them bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Hey,
And they're just
I
trying
got a
to
quick
get where
question
we
for
are.
you.
They would like to have some of the life we have because where they are, it's not that good. It's not safe. They just want to be here and get a little bit of what we have. And guess what? We can afford it. We can afford to pay for all those people. We're a very wealthy country, and we're getting very greedy.
Well, yeah.
And we don't want to take care of those people. We don't want to take care of our own people.
Like
We don't wanna
$37
take-
trillion in debt. I don't even think we can take care of ourselves at
Yeah,
this
we
point.
can take
but-
care of ourselves if we did it properly. And Donald Trump didn't help that number at all. He's going to make that number bigger than ever.
No, that's one of his big
He's
big
not-
issues with a lot of his supporters that I would speak with is
And they're
the
crazy.
overspending. But spending's been a big issue for a lot of administrations for the last, at least for my lifetime, but certainly for the last 15, 20 years. I'm really curious about your thoughts when it comes down to their agenda. They call it there's a few names for it, but kind of the common sense agenda. This has to do with, hey, no taxpayer funded sex change operations for
Do you know
minors.
how many of those are? Come on, let's
How much
be
money
real.
they are?
No,
How many?
How many? It's a handful. We made a big, huge problem about nothing. Okay, so
Like
we
a
can't fund them.
Couple thousand top surgeries in the United States for minors.
Okay. So what? Let's see.
Well,
how many
I'm
tax
just curious
breaks
if
are?
you support that? I mean,
I support
removing
whatever-
taxpayer funding for that.
I say whatever the law says.
Yeah.
I say whatever the law says at that time. That's the way it is.
Okay.
It's
You're
not.
cool.
It's.
Are
it's-
you?
I
My
have
question
no
is,
problem with it.
yeah. Do you
Not
support
at all.
his agenda and that agenda of saying, you know what, taxpayer dollars shouldn't go to that? What do you think?
No, I don't. I don't support
Okay.
anything he supports.
Okay.
Zero. And so I want to help
Men and
him.
women's sports. Them removing men from women's sports. Do you support that agenda?
I think that that's up to the people that are playing the sport, and that would be. And when I say that, that's the entire group. And I have no problem with a transgendered male or woman swimming in the sex in the group that maybe they
This
weren't
man is a
on
lunatic.
with those
Well,
with those.
don't we break that down? You know, this is where a lot of people.
But can I say something?
Oh, please.
What we're trying to do here in this is we're talking about a really small issue. And we're making it a really big one when we have.
I understand there's bigger issues.
Yeah, there's much bigger issues than that. And
But
it
this is
shouldn't-
a cultural thing as well. Like,
But
what are we
it's
going to allow as a culture, as a society?
What are we going to allow? Are we going to allow billionaires to keep not paying taxes? Are we going to do that? Are we going to allow billionaires to take advantage of the system that I can't take advantage of?
We are kind of changing the topic. My thing
I
was,
know.
I'm curious what you think about that agenda of kind of the, hey, you know, taxpayers not paying for
Yeah.
surgeries
It
in the
doesn't bother me
military.
that
Why?
taxpayers pay for those if they're in the military? Yeah.
Okay. So even that agenda, which actually is a very popular one with a lot of people that I'll find, is okay. Men and women's sports, getting men out of women's sports, sex changes for children. You know, gender ideology being pushed, I guess, in the education department and all that other stuff that would fall under that category. You are against that agenda, as long as Trump is connected to it.
I'm going to jump really far out.
Let's go.
I'm pretty much against everything he's ever
Yes,
done
yes,
and ever
I-
stands for.
Okay.
So the answer to that's going to be yes. Yeah. I think that Donald Trump is tearing the country down really
That's a
fast,
lie.
and I think that he's got some really good help. And I think the Heritage Foundation that did the 2025 project is just, Project
got it. Yeah,
2025.
you flipped
I
them.
think,
That's okay.
I think that that little outline, which is huge, is what he and his people are using. I don't think Donald Trump is smart enough to think up any of these things, but I think he's a really good tool to put all things into place. And they're doing them really, really fast. And you don't have to be a rocket
They call that
scientist.
flooding the zone
Yeah.
when it comes to getting a lot done there.
Yeah, and what we do is we get Donald Trump to get out there and flail his arms around and make some crazy statements so that all the really frightening things can happen to our government. And they're doing that all the time, every day. And I think that when we lose compassion as a country, we are done. And we are not a compassionate country when it comes to our government now. When there are detention centers, which are otherwise called concentration camps, all over the country now. And people can say, it's not true. Well, it's true. It doesn't take much to
Well,
understand
you
it.
bring this one up, and you know, it's funny. You're bringing up the immigration one. For me, that's actually why I voted for Donald Trump. Was for the immigration. And it's funny how you think that's the worst thing he's doing.
It is.
I would think it's the best. But I think we might disagree on some of the language there and what's being done, and you know, we can have of course a respectful back and forth on that. But really quick, you know, over the last 4 years, right, we saw record-breaking child trafficking, record-breaking sex trafficking down at the southern border, and a bunch of Democrats said absolutely nothing about this humanitarian crisis on both sides of the
So
border.
where'd you get your numbers?
Should we be
Record-breaking.
really quick? Customs and Border Protection under Biden's administration. Should we be taking
incorrect.
your criticism on that seriously when that's all not happening anymore? It's completely, that crisis is completely evaporated.
Well, see,
And
you're using-
there was nothing being said during the worst humanitarian crisis at our southern border in American history.
And your numbers are incorrect, whether they came from the Biden administration or not.
Okay.
But they've been
Tell me the
blown up.
correct
They've
numbers.
been-
Go for
I don't have the correct numbers, but the numbers weren't as high as that. And what we're doing now
What is your basis for saying that?
Trying
if you
to
don't mind me asking?
gaslight it.
everything I read, all the press that I read.
And where are you reading it? Like, who's telling you that
MSNBC.
the border crisis over the last
I can
4 years
bet.
wasn't the worst in American history?
The other government numbers that come out from different departments. So if you want to go look at your numbers,
Which one are you talking about?
Look at go to the census. So the census breaks down a lot of numbers that you don't have. The census talks about those numbers. And it doesn't match up with what you're getting from other aspects of the government.
The last census was done in 2020. It's done every 10 years.
I know, but we fine tune it. Donald Trump's fine tuning it right now, as you know.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to exclude
He's trying to
people that are in the
change
country
numbers.
illegally.
He's trying to change the numbers.
Well, he's trying to exclude people that are in the country illegally because they're not supposed to be counted in the census necessarily, right?
So how were they counted? Excuse me. How were they counted illegally?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
How did we count these people illegally?
I didn't say illegally. I said we did count illegal immigrants in the U.S.
How
Census.
did we count people that were illegally in the country? How did we do that?
Because we're not giving them to citizens, we're giving them to everybody. So everyone fills out the census.
So you're saying that the numbers in the census
Yeah.
counted illegal aliens unfairly? That we have
You're
those
saying-
numbers.
No, I'm just saying that they counted them.
Yeah,
Would
you're
you?
saying they're counted.
Are you saying that's not happening?
Yeah, I say that those numbers are really small, those illegals that were counted in the census. Do you think somebody that's illegal is going to run up and say, yeah, count me for the census. I want to be counted. That's kind of not smart, wouldn't you say?
I mean, when it comes down to the U.S. Census, anybody can fill it out, but it's also just getting a rough estimate of how many people are in a particular area. So if you have, let's say, before the Biden administration, at a minimum, 15 million illegals, those people are still roughly being counted in the system. And the interesting part about that, it actually creates an interesting incentive to open up the southern border to bring in as many illegals as possible, because what does the census do, right? Determines how many representatives a state has in the House of Representatives. So there's every upside for importing as many people as you possibly can, even though it might be the wrong thing to do for the country.
But we don't count all those people. You say we do, but we don't.
And what is your basis for saying that?
The same place you got your information.
What do you mean?
Well, you said you got your information. Where did you get your information about the numbers of people that are counted in the census that were illegal? Do you know how many people that was? How many people in this last
census
census
doesn't determine who is in the country illegally or not.
But you just said.
So they just
that
count
there were
everybody.
A whole bunch of people.
Do you understand what I'm
saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're missing the point.
No, I
No,
hear
you
your
are.
point.
You're missing the
For
point.
some reason, you think they're excluded for some reason, but the census counts everybody.
But the census can't count everybody. You can't count everybody because we don't talk to everybody or count everybody in the country.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate. So you're saying because I don't understand your point.
Well, my point is your census numbers, they're wrong. Because first of all, the census does not count everybody in the country. It counts everybody it can in the country.
It gets an estimate. So if there's 30 million people
now
here,
we're at an estimate. We're not at real
it doesn't get
numbers.
exact. I mean, that's
Okay, now we're knowing it's not exact. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but you said
I'm
to
curious
me,
what your point
what
is.
you said to me was all of these illegals were counted during the census.
Perhaps I'll get rid of the word all, right? So illegals are included in the census as well.
Yeah, there are some, yes.
But if you have, 30 million in the country, I mean, that's a massive number.
Where'd you get 30 million?
So there's about 15 before, roughly 15 to 20.
Where did you get that number?
That's from Pew.
You sure?
Yes.
Can you verify that number from Pew? I'm not sure you can.
Oh, you want me to pull it up right now?
So, no, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
You
You're
want me to
not
show
going
it
to
to you?
change my mind. You're not going to change my mind.
Pew Research is gold standard for research in the United States?
Yeah, but not right now. Because Pew's Pew's been a little sketchy. Because Pew's got to worry about the Trump administration.
Wait, no, these are numbers before the Trump administration.
But still, the census does not count everyone in the country, and
It gets an estimate, and they use that number.
So what we're doing now is we're concentrating our information on another problem.
Yeah.
The few numbers between 12 and 15.
12 and 15? Thank you for checking on that. He doesn't trust them though, so it doesn't.
Thank you.
You said 30.
No, I was telling him 15,
No,
and that's
you
before
said-
the Trump.
you
That's
said
before
30.
the Biden administration.
You said 30. Well, it'll be on your tape.
Of course it will. Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
It will be. 15 before the Biden administration. They brought in an extra minimum 10. In a span of 4 years. It was the worst border crisis in
So
American
that's
history.
25, not 30.
These are rough estimates, so it could be.
Could be 20?
I'm saying a minimum of 10.
Could it be 10? Could be 10,
Oh yeah, it could be 10.
but not 30.
I'm saying
not 30
new
million.
imports, sir. I'm
Okay.
referring to new imports under the Biden administration.
So
That's
you
on top of
voted
who
for
was there
Donald
already.
Trump because of his immigration policy.
And
I
yeah,
think his
I think it's-
immigration policy is horrible.
Yeah, I think facilitating the worst human trafficking crisis in history, child trafficking crisis in history, in U.S. history, is problematic, and I think that we need to enforce our southern border and our basic immigration laws. I mean, is there anything wrong with that, really?
I think what's wrong with it is how you use that
What do you mean?
and how you use the information.
Oh, they're importing people for the purpose of voting. I mean, I think that's wrong to
And I
use
think
them for
that's-
that.
I think that's crap.
Yeah.
I think that's crap. I think what you just said is incorrect.
Sorry, which part?
The bringing people in for vote so they can
Oh,
vote.
of course they are. Absolutely. And I-
Absolutely. Who said that?
Not-
Do you know?
well,
Are
no,
you-
I'm just saying the
you're-
strategy
no,
is
are you
kind
an
of common
expert on
sense.
that? Do you know? You said common sense. I'm skeptical on your common sense now.
Why? Democrats have everything to gain for importing as many people as possible.
But Republicans use every trick in the book, and you're trying to say the Democrats are just importing people to vote. They can't vote.
They have
They cannot
yeah,
vote.
they have an impact on
They
federal
cannot
elections,
vote.
which we just spent like
We just
5 minutes
talked
going
about,
over.
you said voters. They can't vote.
They
so
impact federal
you and
elections.
I are at an impasse.
There's a couple cities across the United States
why
where
I'm saying this is because
Sorry, we can go
because-
one person at a time.
Because you have an ideology that I disagree with.
Being opposed to human trafficking.
Because you're going to focus on this human trafficking thing that you use your numbers that you say the Biden
administration's
administration
numbers.
gave you. Yeah. And so you're going to focus on that.
Yeah.
So you don't care about elections?
Well, you mean the facts is what I'm focusing on.
No, it's not facts. It's your interpretation of facts. And you guys are misreading things. And you always have
how am
been.
I wrong?
And so, again, we're going to go back
Do you mind if I ask how I'm wrong on that?
Well,
Would you like to
have
see
your
the numbers?
Wrong. You just told me 30 million illegal immigrants.
I've had the numbers correct, actually.
But you said 30 million. It's actually not.
Total right now, minimum, I would say 25 to 30 million in the
That's
country.
a Trump number. That's just like the Trump numbers. All the Trump numbers are phony.
That's basic math when it comes to
basic
adding
math. Your
Pew
math.
Research.
Your math.
No, it's not mine. It's
I-
Pew
I
Research
don't-
and the federal
I don't
government's math.
trust your math and math from the government anymore.
Okay.
I don't.
Do you trust the Biden administration's government?
I trust some of it.
Okay. Those numbers
Not
would be
all
coming
of it.
from the Biden administration
I'm
when it
not
comes to
sure
the last
all of
4
those
years.
Numbers are correct.
Okay. Well, hey,
So some of those numbers come from Texas state, the state of Texas. Come on.
they come from Customs and Border Protection.
Yeah, but those numbers still come from the information gathered at those states, and those states aren't necessarily giving us the right information.
Maybe the numbers are incorrect. Maybe that's the case, and at that
There
point
you
we
go.
can't have a
That's
we can't talk about anything if the facts we don't have accurate facts.
We don't
huh?
agree with the facts. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, the facts
You
are
know what?
incorrect.
It's interesting that you're doing this. It's a good thing to get people to talk. I'm disappointed to see young people vote for Donald Trump. I
And
thought they were
be against
smarter.
human trafficking.
But you're going to keep going on the human trafficking. So much more in the world than just our one problem. That's a big problem.
You were
It
the one
is.
that was bringing up immigration, so I decided
did.
to talk
I
about
did.
that.
No, it's good, but I mean, there's a lot of problems, and so human trafficking. I'm going to not lean on your numbers and agree with you. I'm going to say
They're not
you're
my
wrong
numbers,
and
they're the
you've
Biden administration's
you've
numbers.
Misrepresented those a bit. So
They actually that's my numbers for
again-
that are just at the southern border. They're not even including the CNVH program of flying people into the country, the CBP One app of flying people over the border coming into our country.
So do you believe in the vote? Do you believe in voting? Do you think Donald Trump should
I think we
eliminate
should-
the vote?
I think we should be counting Americans in the
who's an
census and
American?
determining how many seats
who's
a
an
state gets in
American?
the House of Representatives.
So what do you think about our redistricting situation here?
Oh, I'm against redistricting in red and blue states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think Texas shouldn't be able to do what they want to do?
Theirs isn't even that egregious, but if they are gerrymandering,
What? You're kidding me.
Have you looked at the
Not
map?
agree? I live in Texas.
yeah, the maps. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
please.
that radical compared to like other places.
Come on.
Like there's no snake districts, is what I mean. You know what I mean?
And wait, look at Louisiana next door. Born and raised in Louisiana. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we
Snake
could say-
districts. So it's
Yeah.
so
I already told you I'm against gerrymandering in all red
So-
or blue
so
states.
we
Can
have
we
a
agree on that?
we can no. Right now I don't. Right now I'm all for gerrymandering to make sure that we have a balance, a more balanced government, if that even matters anymore.
If that is a game that you want to play with people, that I think that's fine. I'm against it. That's fine. That's your
Well, we're
thing.
gonna be against
If
most
the Trump
things in our-
administration is successful in mass deportations, Democrats have a way bigger problem to worry about, and that's losing dozens of seats in the House. That's a big problem that Democrats have to worry about. So forget trying to save 5 seats in California. Democrats are facing losing dozens of seats in the House
because not Democrats and Republicans.
Right. I'm talking about the democratic process here.
This is not. We don't have a democratic process right
I'm
now.
talking
You
about
know
that.
it.
Cheating the system, importing as many illegals as possible to beef up your
Cheating the
numbers to get more
system,
seats in
deciding
Congress.
To tell a state in a red state
Did
that
you
they
hear what I
don't.
said?
I did. I heard that, but you don't want to hear what I have to
I'm
say.
listening now,
Okay,
you know.
but so it's okay for a state to not approve the election. They're gonna. So now at red state, if it doesn't like the blue outcome, they just don't have to. They don't have to certify the election anymore.
Okay.
Trump administration is allowing that. So
Wait,
that's okay.
Where's that happening?
So-
You're saying for 2026 they're
Yeah,
going to do
for
that?
2026.
Okay.
That okay?
Well, a lot of the
Is that
problems.
okay?
A lot of the problems that I hear when it comes to a lot of those concerns, we put that in a category of the Department of Imaginary Concerns, where it hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen when it comes to just completely rejecting people's votes in an election.
Wow, that's a great
Like,
way
for
to
example,
get out of a,
no, it's
get out
okay.
of
Can
having
you give me an
dealing with a
example of it?
problem.
Is my next question.
So when it happens, because it's a new
it hasn't
thing,
happened yet.
it's a new thing. Well, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if that hasn't happened. I'm not too sure about the last election,
The 2024.
presidential election.
I'm not sure about that one either. I mean, they didn't even give Democrats a primary election, and you're talking about a threat to democracy here.
So yeah, there's a couple of states that have lawsuits pending on
it
interesting. That it could have. Yeah, part of it was.
Do you mind if I ask what you mean by that? And I'll let you. I'll give you time to explain.
I mean, research it. Look it up. Look up
That's your answer?
Illinois. Look up New Hampshire. There are areas where Kamala Harris got 0 votes, but other Democrats got votes. And that's a long discussion, but look it up. Check
maybe
it
this
on
is
your
the
phone.
next Trump-Russia collusion, huh? We could spend tens of millions of dollars and tell everyone that
And yeah, he did, and that happened.
we're still on that one.
Yeah, we are. We're still on that one. You bet.
they-
Well, I'm on it.
They spent tens of millions of dollars on that, saying that Russia cheated the election and there was no evidence of that. That was wild, and that they were trying to help Donald Trump. In fact, new evidence recently was shown that there was no evidence that they were specifically trying to help Donald Trump in any way.
I'm not going to.
You're not gonna believe it. I
I'm
know,
not
I
going to
know,
believe
I know.
that.
That's okay.
Just like you're not going to believe a lot that we believe, but I'm not going to believe that. No.
I was just asking you to
it's
explain a couple
obviously-
things.
It's obvious to me that we are always going to differ. We're going to differ on the facts.
Right.
I've been dealing with
You want no
facts.
border at the southern border, and I want a border.
So that's
I
not
believe
what
in
I said.
protecting
That's
American
not what I
sovereignty.
said.
It's wild.
See, there you go. So you twist words, and you try to make it okay.
I'll give you a fair chance on that one.
Stop.
What
I'm
should
not finished.
what should the punishment
you
be?
Twisted
Please
my
go.
words.
Okay. How did I do that?
You said I want no border.
That's how I'm interpreting your position
Oh my God,
on
you're
it.
interpreting.
I'm sorry, my
you
bad.
Can't interpret. You know what?
Tell me-
We're done.
You're not
You
going to
and
tell
I
me
are
your
done,
thoughts on
you know.
it?
You know why? Because you're not going to change my mind, and I'm not going to change yours.
We could have a friendly back and forth.
I'm kind of tired of talking.
I'm not going to make you talk to me.
You know why? Because we're not going to change each other's mind.
I understand.
And nothing I give this gentleman here.
It's a good example for the
is-
people to check out, though.
Yep.
They can see who they agree with, who they don't, who made a good argument, who they don't think make it. Maybe they disagree with me. Maybe they disagree with you. So it's a good opportunity for people to check it out.
It will, but before that goes anywhere, you'd probably need my signature,
Okay.
which you won't get.
No, that's not how the First Amendment works. There's no
So,
expectation of privacy
If
in
you
a
do
public
this,
setting.
I will probably have to sue you,
Oh, awesome.
which would be better for you,
Okay. Well, I'm going to walk away
It's
now,
a
so I
public
appreciate your
space,
time.
bro.
What's your name?
Tim.
Tim? James, thanks for the conversation and
James,
threatening
good
to
luck
sue
with
me.
your life.
Appreciate it, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. The ending was a bit funny in a way because how in the world are you going to see him? And you need your signature to do what? To publish the video. Why? That is not how First Amendment work. But at the same time, I love that the man is someone who wants to have an open dialogue. I've seen a lot of Democrats who just don't want to talk to a Republican or anyone who supports MAGA in general. So him having to talk to the gentleman, I try to respect that. Truthfully, I respect that. So a lot of Democrats feel like Republicans don't want to hear their side of the view, and they don't want to agree with them. And a lot of Democrats just don't want to talk to Republicans, and they don't want to agree with Republicans at all. But at the same time, I feel like I love listening to what Democrats have to say, their own side of the view, and where they are getting it wrong. What I don't like is whenever they are pointing them that this is wrong, Democrats choose not to accept the fact that that is wrong. You understand? Especially when they brings out someone bring a stats for them, they'll be like, that stats is doctored. I don't trust that site. I don't trust this. I don't trust that. I don't trust this. Whenever they see that it's not going to their favor, they tend to have the aspect of trying to gaslight it or change topic. So it's something that I see more common among Democrats. And if you ask them to show you their own stats, if what you're saying is wrong, Democrats show you their own stats. They don't have anywhere to show you. They just believe that whatever you're showing them is wrong. Because they're always right. They always feel like they're right. So this man, 100%, I try to respect him having dialogue with someone who supports MAGA and a Republican. I try to respect him for that, give him an accolade. But he's someone who does not talk from an open mind.